I was working at a car rental agency in Auckland, New Zealand. An American tourist came to the counter, visibly angry. "My GPS is broken," he declared. "It keeps telling me to drive on the left side of the road. I need a new one that uses the correct American side." I had to gently explain that in New Zealand, we do drive on the left. He stared at me, horrified, and said, "The whole country? On purpose? That is the most backward, dangerous thing I have ever heard of. I demand a full refund. I'm not safe to drive here." Dialogue I witnessed at a beautiful ancient Shinto shrine in Kyoto, American teenager. "Ugh, I'm so bored. There's no Wi-Fi here." Father, "Just appreciate the culture, honey." Teenager, "What culture?" "It's just a bunch of old wood. Why don't they tear this down and build something useful, like a mall? A mall of America would be so much better for their economy than this old temple thing." The father actually nodded thoughtfully. I was a tour guide at the Colosseum in Rome. An American woman in my group raised her hand and asked with complete sincerity, "This is fascinating, but was this built before or after Jesus?" Because if it was after, it seems really insensitive to the Christians who were, eaten by lions here. They should have known better. I was so stunned by the question that I just stood there for a moment before trying to explain the timeline of the Roman Empire. Working in a bookstore in London, an American came up to my counter with a copy of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. He looked annoyed. "Excuse me, do you have the real version of this book? This one has the wrong title." "It's supposed to be Sorcerer's Stone. It's like you guys are printing a cheap knockoff of an American classic." I had to explain that he was holding the original version, and the title was changed for the American release. He didn't believe me. My friend is a chef in Bangkok. An American tourist sent his pad thai back to the kitchen. When my friend went out to ask what the problem was, the man said, "This is way too spicy and has weird vegetables in it. I want it made the proper way, like they do at P.F. Chang's back in Ohio. Can you just use their recipe? It's much more authentic." My friend, a Thai native, was speechless. I was on a flight from the US to Spain. The American man next to me was very chatty. As we began our descent into Madrid, he looked out the window and said, "Wow, look at all those little towns. It's amazing how they managed to build them so close to the main city. Do you think they all speak Spanish, or do some of them speak Mexican?" At a thermal spa in Iceland, there are strict rules about showering completely naked before entering the communal pools. An American woman was causing a scene, refusing to take off her bathing suit in the shower. She yelled at the attendant, "This is a violation of my privacy. In America, we have freedom. I will not be forced into public nudity by your socialist customs." She eventually had to be escorted out. Overheard in a cafe in Vienna, Austria. An American was complaining to his friend, "I just don't get it. I've been smiling at everyone all day, and people just look at me like I'm crazy. It's like nobody here is friendly. Back home, if you don't smile at strangers, people think you're a jerk. This whole country needs to learn basic manners." I was working at a hotel in Dubai. An American guest called the front desk in a rage. "My TV isn't working. I'm trying to watch the Super Bowl, and all I'm getting is soccer and cricket." I explained that it was 4 a.m. in the US, and the game hadn't started, and also that our satellite packages catered to an international audience. He demanded we buy the American channels immediately because he was paying for a 5-star experience. A tourist on my walking tour of Prague's Old Town Square asked, "Why is everything so old and close together? It feels really cramped. Don't you guys have zoning laws? In America, we'd have torn this all down for a nice, wide 6-lane highway and some parking lots. It would be so much more convenient." I was working at a currency exchange booth in Toronto's airport. An American man came to my window and asked to exchange $100 USD. I gave him the equivalent in Canadian dollars, minus the small commission. He counted the money, looked at me with genuine pity and said, "Wow, You guys are really in a recession, huh? I give you 100 and I only get this much back. Don't worry. Our economy will help pull you guys out of it soon. He thought the exchange rate was a measure of our country's economic failure. My friend was a bartender at a resort in the Bahamas that was popular with Americans. One day, a guest ordered a Bahama Mama. My friend made the classic cocktail. The guest took a sip, made a face and said, "This isn't right. I had one at the TGI Fridays in Cleveland, and it was bright blue and came in a huge novelty glass. Yours is just pink. Can you make it the way they do in America? They're the experts on this drink." I was on a guided tour of the Normandy American Cemetery. It was a very solemn, quiet experience. During the playing of taps, an American man in our group had his phone out, recording a video for social media. He was whispering loudly into it. "Hey guys, I'm here at D-Day. Super historic. It's really sad, but also like a huge win for America. Don't forget to like and subscribe." The French guide looked like he was going to cry from sheer frustration. An American family moved into the apartment above me in Berlin. A week later, the father knocked on my door. "Hey, so we're having a gender reveal party this Saturday. We're going to be setting off some coloured smoke cannons and maybe some small fireworks from our balcony. Just wanted to give you a heads up." I had to explain that setting off fireworks from an apartment balcony in a dense city was not only insane, but also highly illegal. He seemed genuinely surprised. I work in customer service for a European train line. I got a call from an American who had missed his train from Paris to Geneva. He wasn't asking to rebook. He was demanding we make the train come back for him. In the US, he explained, if a flight is delayed, they hold it for connecting passengers. I'm a paying customer. You need to call the driver and tell him to turn around and pick me up. This is a huge customer service failure. At a public hospital in Spain, my cousin, a doctor, was treating an American tourist for a minor injury. After putting a bandage on his arm, she told him he was free to go. He just sat there and asked, "Okay, so where do I pay? Who's my insurance coordinator?" My cousin explained that under their system, emergency care for a minor issue like his was covered. He got very suspicious and said, "Nothing is free. What's the catch? Are you going to bill me some crazy amount later? I want an itemized receipt now." I was at a traditional tea ceremony in Japan. It's a very quiet, meditative process. An American in the group kept trying to make small talk with the tea master. "So, how long have you been doing this? Is the pay good? Do you get benefits?" After being met with serene silence, he turned to his wife and whispered, "This is so awkward. She's a terrible hostess. No people skills at all." An American tourist walked into the small bakery my aunt owns in rural Greece. He pointed at a tray of baklava and asked, "How many calories are in one of those?" My aunt, who speaks little English, just smiled. He then pulled out his phone and said, "Hold on, I need to scan this into my fitness app. Do you have a barcode for it? Or at least the full nutritional information, including saturated fats and sugars?" He was baffled when she couldn't provide one. Overheard at the archaeological site of Ephesus in Turkey, a young American woman was looking at the stunning ruins of the Library of Celsus. She turned to her boyfriend and said, "It's a shame it's all broken. They should get a sponsor like Google or Amazon to rebuild it properly. Imagine how cool a brand new Amazon Library of Celsus would look. It would be so much better for tourism." I was on a bus in Oslo, Norway, during the winter. It was snowing heavily. An American tourist was complaining loudly to his wife. "This is ridiculous. Why haven't they salted the roads?" In Chicago, the salt trucks are out before the first snowflake hits. It's like this whole country doesn't know how to handle winter. It's so unsafe. He was completely unaware that Norway avoids road salt to protect the environment and their cars. My professor at a university in Italy told us about a former American student of his. The student had tried to argue for a better grade on a history paper by saying, "I know some of my facts were wrong, but I should get extra credit for writing the entire paper in English." It's my first language, but it's a foreign language here, so it was much harder for me than for the Italian students. I was working at a ski resort in British Columbia, Canada. An American skier came to the rental shop to complain about the snow. "This snow is all wrong," he said. "It's too powdery and deep. I'm used to the nice, packed, icy snow we have in Vermont. That's real skiing. Can you tell your grooming machines to pack it down harder? This is basically unskiable." An American was visiting my family's ancestral village in India. He saw a cow wandering down the street and immediately started freaking out. "Oh my God, a stray cow! Is it dangerous? Someone call animal control." We had to calmly explain that cows are sacred and are allowed to roam freely. He replied, "That's a major public health violation. What if it poops on the sidewalk?" At a restaurant in Lisbon, Portugal, an American couple was seated next to me. They had been brought the standard pre-meal basket of bread, olives and cheese. They ate all of it. When the bill came, they caused a huge scene because they had been charged a few euros for it. "This is a scam! In America, bread is always free. You tricked us by putting it on our table." The waiter tried to explain it's a standard cover charge, but they insisted it was theft. I was on a boat tour of the Galapagos Islands. The naturalist guide was explaining the delicate ecosystem and the importance of not touching the animals. An American tourist then asked, "So, where's the petting zoo part of the tour? My kids were really hoping to ride one of the giant tortoises. We paid a lot for this trip." An American student studying abroad in Australia was shocked when she got her first part-time job at a cafe and was paid what she considered an outrageously high minimum wage. She told her manager, "You shouldn't pay me this much. It's bad for the business." In the US, we know that keeping wages low is how you create jobs and keep prices down. You're going to ruin your own economy. I was at a music festival in Belgium. An American guy was walking around asking people, "Hey, do you speak American?" When people looked confused and replied, "You mean English?" he would get annoyed and say, "No, American. I don't have some weird accent like you guys. I speak it the normal way." A tourist in Cairo, after visiting the pyramids, asked his guide, "This was great, but it was very hot. Why did they build them in the desert? It seems like a poor choice of location. They should have built them somewhere with more shade, like in a forest. It's just common sense." My friend works for the National Railway in the Netherlands. He had to deal with an American who was irate that there was no first-class car on a short commuter train. "I am a very important businessman and I always fly first class. I need a quiet place to work. This system of everyone sitting together is pure communism. I want to pay more to be better than everyone else." An American was visiting a historic pub in London that I frequent. He went to the bar and said, "I'll have a beer." The bartender asked, "What kind?" The American looked confused. "Just a regular beer. You know, a beer-flavoured beer, like a Budweiser. Don't you have just a normal, plain beer?" I was in a grocery store in France. An American woman was holding two different types of brie cheese, looking completely lost. She stopped an employee and asked, "Which one of these is the non-GMO, gluten-free, organic, ethically sourced, low-fat version?" "The labels are all in French, so I can't tell. You should really have an American-friendly section." A tourist at the Dead Sea was complaining to the lifeguard, "I was told you float in this water, but I'm not floating right. My feet keep trying to come up above my head. It's very uncomfortable. Can you adjust the salt levels in my area so I can float properly, like on my back?" I was on a flight, and the American passenger next to me saw the flight path on the screen, which showed a curved line over the Atlantic. He called the flight attendant over and said, "Excuse me, I think your navigation is broken. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Why are we flying in a big curve? It's wasting fuel and my time." The flight attendant had to try and explain the concept of a spherical Earth to a grown man. An American in my hostel in Thailand was telling everyone how he hacked the local culture. "You don't have to bow to them," he said knowingly. "That's just a sign of submission. I just give them a firm American handshake. It shows them you're an equal and they respect you more for it. You have to teach them how to be confident." My cousin is a police officer in a small town in Germany. He pulled over an American for speeding significantly over the limit. The American rolled down his window and before my cousin could speak said, "Look, officer, I'm an American.